This here is my CNC lathe project, and on the back side I have this hole here for which I need a metal cover. Probably the easiest way would be to just cut it on the CNC machine, but I would like to test a new idea I had. You know my laser cutter from my last video, and the idea I want to explore today is using the laser cutter as a plasma cutter as well. So the idea basically is this machine already has a vacuum system attached to it, so all the smoke that's generated will be sucked out of the room. And my idea was basically when you move the bed down, there should be plenty room for a Plasmatorch. You see, this is a Plasmatorch I got from eBay, and my idea is that it basically fits right here. So of course we can't use the beds for the laser cutter for this because we would destroy it, but I mean we could easily change it to some other style bed. So today I want to check out if this idea is any good and if I should put some more effort into this. So actually we are not going to do it very nicely, it's just to see if it can work and how well it works. When we have a look at the controller, you can see that here already one output is used for the laser tube right now, but here there's another port. So actually this controller supports two laser tubes, which can be used to have either different power ratings, or for example if you want to have multiple lasers working at once, so you can double the output of the machine basically. But my idea is to use one of these pins to drive the plasma controller. This is a very cheap plasma cutter I got. As you can see, this is a very basic machine. On the back side, here's a power inlet. Here's a hose where we connect a compressor. And on the front side, there are only 3 ports. So here we can set the power. This is where the air comes out and also where the voltage is supplied to the Plasmatorch. This is a port where you can trigger the plasma. So basically when we short these 2 pins, then the Plasmatorch will fire. And this pin here is a ground pin. So in order to generate the arc, you have to ground the plate. That will have to be connected to the workpiece. I think what we basically need to do is connect these 2 pins to the controller somehow, and that way we can use the software to generate G-code, and the controller from the laser cutter will be able to use the Plasmatorch, just like a laser basically. However, we will not be able to set the power. That we will have to do manually, but I think it doesn't matter actually. This will be easy to just change the power here and have the laser cutter just switch the plasma on and off basically. Now I 3D printed this adapter here, and this will just mount like this with a zip tie. Now before I attach the torch, I removed the switch here because we don't need it in the CNC environment. Oh, interesting. So it's just a switch, as you can see. Yeah, I will pull this back. For now, I just mount the torch like this with another zip tie. So now the torch is attached. It's really shitty, but as I said, the goal is only to see if it works at all, and if it works, then we will rework this and make it actually nice. So this is the switch that was built into this button here. We don't need it anymore, so I just cut it off. So now let's have a look at the software. I'm using Lightburn right now, but the software that came with the machine also supports 2 laser heads. So first I had to look to enable the second laser, and I found it under these settings for the machine, and they are here. And when we enable the enable laser 2 controls part here, then when we go to the settings from the file, we can select laser 2. And that's actually exactly what we need. And the pin that controls the laser power is a PWM pin. And we don't want PWM, so I will just set it to 100%. The only thing that we're going to change is in the future is the speed. And the power we will set manually on the Plasma controller. So now we are back at the controller. As you can see, I connected my multimeter to the PWM output and also to the ground. So now let's have a look what happens if we fire the job. Perfect. So as you can see, the output voltage is 5 volts. So I think connecting a relay should be fairly easy. I found one of these cheap relay modules that you can buy very cheap on AliExpress or eBay, for example. And I'm going to use this to control this the Plasma controller with the laser controller. And well, the connection is fairly easy. We have on the power side there is a DC connector and also the input, and these we connect to the reader controller. Yeah, next step, I'm going to connect these wires to this connector, which then will be plugged into the controller. So I will connect this input pin to the PWM output, which is this guy in the middle here. And the other 2 connectors are connected to the power supply directly. And to connect it to the power supply, I turn the machine off, of course. So let's have a look. So this connector comes here. As you can see, this is connected to LPWM2, and black is connected to ground. I think I will connect the power here. So let's remove the hot snot, which is useless anyway, and then undo this screw. So this is also just for testing, as I said. If this works, then I will come back and do this nice. Now everything is connected, so if we turn it on again, we should see this power LED turn on, and it does turn on, so that works. Next I want to see if I fire the laser again, if this relay will switch. Perfect! So it just works. So if you remember, we cut this cable, there was this switch attached, and we will just use it again and connect it to this relay, to the normally open pin. So COM and normally open is what we're going to use here. So the next step is to actually connect the Plasmatorch to the Plasma controller. Here's the little earth connector. which is used for grounding. The red wire is for the pilot arc, and this here is now the connector that we just connected to the relay, and that should fire the plasma. Now the last step is to remove the honeycomb from the laser. Right now I have it just loosely put on the Z-axis, so I can just pull it off. So now that the honeycomb is removed, I wanna test again if the Plasmatorch is actually working. So I turn on the plasma machine and then I will start a laser cutting job just like before, and if everything goes well, we will see the head moving and also a little plasma flame coming out of here. Whoops! Well, it works, but I forgot to hit the origin button, so it went back to its home position. Let's try again. So that worked pretty well, I would say. Here I connect the ground wire to the plate. Now I left just a tiny gap. Now I'm very curious how this will work. I will just hit start and let's have a look. Well, seems that it worked, but something went wrong with the offset again. Let's just try again. Well, it's something. So as you can see, I had a slight collision, but anyway, let's have a look, closer look. So as you can see, this is not really nice, but I mean, it cut metal. I think we'll just try again. I increased the current a little bit on the plasma controller, and whoops, and now let's hit it. Here again, here's our second cut. This still doesn't really look too good, to be honest. It definitely cut, but it didn't cut all the way through. So, well, I guess let's try again. I mean, at least we know that the electrical side seems to be working. I now lowered the torch again, so that it's now very close to the shield, and also I will slow down the laser cutter. Now what you could see was that the torch was actually scratching, so that's why it was snagging a bit. Otherwise the cut looks pretty good, so let's try again. Well, that looked a lot better through. Yeah. So now this is the first actual cut. I don't know. This doesn't look really nice. Again. I think this might be an issue with the air, that it is not blowing enough air through, and that's why it doesn't blow away the molten metal. So I'm going to change that again, and then we will have another cut, and hopefully this time this will work a little bit better. So now I increased the air pressure, and now let's just try again. Oh, it's missing, isn't working. Well, didn't ignite. Let's try again. Well, as you can see, it cuts, it definitely cuts the metal. I think I have actually already destroyed the nozzle because I had a couple collisions at the beginning, and that's why, for example, here the cut is very wide, and also the molten metal isn't blown away anymore, it's blown to the side. Now this is what the Plasmatorch nozzle looks like. I'm not sure if you're able to see this, but the hole has widened quite a bit, and it's now a little bit off to the side. So I think this guy is done. But to be honest, this was not meant to be a finished project. This was more, like I said, to explore the possibility to use the laser cutter as a plasma cutter. And for now, I would say this just worked perfectly fine. Actually, it was much easier than I expected. So I think I will just order new nozzles, and while they come, I will think about how to mount the tube more rigid and also do something so that below the metal sheets the sparking metal droplets are not flying everywhere but instead are captured in a water tray or something. Okay, hope to see you soon. Bye!